Alright guys, today we're going to be doing a tier 3 tier list. So pretty much everything that you see here in the purple is tier 3. No weapons, just solely based off the robots and their abilities. So here's our poll. I think this is the latest from 10.3, so it might not have all the latest robots, but that doesn't matter because we're doing tier 3. So, starting off with Fury, great firepower, no speed. Durability and defense is not that great. As I said, we're not going with the weapons or drones or anything else because you can always modify certain things. We're just going off the base stats. So Fury, we will be putting at we'll put it at balance. It trades all of its firepower for the speed and durability. Next up is Strider. Strider is a very mobile robot with pretty decent firepower. However, it is pretty fragile, but that's where the dashes come in for evadability. So overall, I would put Strider probably towards balance, because even though it is very fragile, it's not really meant for close combat anyways. It's more of a beacon runner, or as they call it now, a saboteur. So honestly, yeah, it's pretty balanced. Not really much to do else with it. Next up is, I was gonna say Griffin, not Griffin. If anything, the upgraded version, Raven. Probably one of my more favorites, along with Strider. I mean, of course, Fury is an OG, but these two are very, very useful when it comes to beacon running. And just overall gameplay is more exciting with these two. Raven, I've actually used in my aimer many times before. Raven, we will actually go ahead and put on Strong, solely based off of its ability. Its double jump, well, its jump ability, and just the fact that it has great speed, and its durability is actually quite nice. It has pretty decent firepower, and of course the skins look pretty fire as well. So there's that. And then the Raker. Honestly, it depends on what you're running on it, but if we're just going off of base stats, it has great speed, decent firepower, but it's just way too fragile. And it doesn't have enough evadability like the Strider to be able to dodge shots. It does, however, have a suppression device built in. So there is that to account for. You can suppress enemies, so that way the firepower hitting you isn't as strong. But honestly, it just doesn't have enough defense to stay up. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to put that one in weak. So we have Raven and Strong, these two in balance, and the Raker weak for right now. Yes, I know there's a new ultimate pilot or whatever it is that you can add to the Raker, but we're just going off base stats. Not everyone has access to that type of equipment. So, next up, Guang. Even though, yes, like I just said, it also has a very strong pilot. We're going off of base stats. It has probably one of the highest amount of defense points when it goes into its ability. Also has a built-in weapon, which is very useful. Good for camping, good for beacon running, and overall just a pretty cool bot. I would say it's in balance, as its speed is decent. It has decent firepower, but overall pretty good defense. In fact, I think I might actually just put it in Strong, because if we're gonna just compare it against, of course, all the other tier 3 bots, then yes, this would probably be considered more on one of the strong sides of the robots. Next, no, this is not the ultimate version. This is just the base version. Bulgasauri. Overall, I remember the Dash Meta. This was honestly pretty fire back then. Even if you were just running Orkins, it could do quite a lot of damage. So yes, I will also go ahead and put it in decent, well not decent, in strong. In the strong category, solely just because of the fact that its durability is actually pretty outstanding. It has great defense, it has a built-in shield, it has dash, so its evadability, its speed, its defense is all pretty good, and it still has decent firepower, so I'll put that in strong. Helmburner, probably my #1 favorite and probably the strongest out of everything here. Helmburner has also a really great ability. When it goes into its ability, it pretty much speeds up, it gathers defense points, and it does a huge explosion which can pretty much almost 1 to 2 shot a lot of these like robots. It has decent firepower, only because it has a heavy weapon. Overall, its speed is absolutely fire. Defense is pretty good. Durability, it can be worked on, but it's fine for now. We're just gonna put him in OP because its usefulness when it comes to beacon running and just overall anything, even in team deathmatch, is pretty good. Definitely want someone running that on your team. Next up is Cerebus, a community favorite, if I remember correctly. This was a community bot back then. Its built-in EMP rocket is quite useful. It is pretty fragile, however though, it is honestly something I could say is pretty useful just solely because of its EMP rocket. It has great firepower, speed is decent, durability is pretty fragile. It does have a built-in shield though, so defense-wise, I would say, I would say pretty balanced. Next up is the Haiichi, honestly not sure how to pronounce it. Decent firepower, pretty similar firepower to the rest of these. Also has dash attack. I think this one also has a shield. I forgot where though. I think it's in the center. Has dash attack, so has great speed, great evadability, great defense, decent firepower. I don't quite remember how much durability it had, but I'm assuming it's at least around 300,000, so that's pretty good. So we will go ahead and put this in the strong category. Next up is Inquisitor. I think that's this one. I'm assuming it is. Inquisitor has a stealth ability, and I think also when it jumps down, I may be confusing it from Mercury. Regardless though, these twin brothers of robots do have pretty similar great abilities. The stealth by itself is already useful, as your opponent won't really be able to fire at you unless they have certain mechanics. Overall, pretty great firepower, and honestly it has pretty decent speed, it has great durability. We'll actually go ahead and put this in the OP, just solely because of its stealth, and you already know where Falcon goes. Although it is quite just a little bit slow, but it can make up for it for its jump ability, and it has also one of the highest firepower in tier 3 besides Fury, and its defense points alone. When it comes to T-Falcons, this thing is insanely OP if you're tier 3. Next is Pursuer, great beacon runner, great assassin type of robot. I wouldn't necessarily consider it strong solely just because of its gameplay mechanics and the fact that its durability is pretty lacking. Its firepower as well, but it has just some serious great speed. So we will go ahead and put it in balanced for now. Next up is Spectre, OG. It has great firepower, but unfortunately it honestly is just way too slow and just way too fragile. Let me go ahead and put it in the weak category. Next up is Nemesis. I actually used to run one of these as well. It's also, from what I know, the first or one and I think the only one with an absorber shield in tier 3, because the rest of its brothers in the Pantheon hangar are in tier 4, and for good reason, because this robot Its firepower is honestly pretty lacking because even if you take its ability firepower into consideration, it's honestly not going to do that much unless you have everything maxed, and even then it's solely only based on how you aim, because it is a decently rocket fired mechanic ability. So it can be easily evaded if the robot is fast enough. Its speed is decent. Durability is actually quite a tank. So for now I'll put it in balance. Next up, another one of my favorites, one of the spider robots, Weyland. Weyland has pretty firepower, and it is also probably one of the only 1 out of the 3 medic robots or support robots within tier 3. Great firepower, great durability, great defense, has a lot of healing. Honestly, just pretty OP for any kind of battle, whether that's team deathmatch, even free for all, or beacon rush. Next is Mender. Not much to be said. I think everyone already kind of knows it's quite OP for its own tier. Next up is Loki. Pretty shifty robot. Pretty fast, pretty stealthy. His firepower is honestly lacking, as well as his defensive capabilities. But overall, if no one is able to see it in stealth, it's pretty much untouchable, unless you're smart enough to, in a way, ground yourself to the same level, so that way when you aim at it, you can actually still fire at it. I would honestly put this in balance, just solely because of its stealth. Next is tier. We will be putting this in the strong category because of its shield. Very strong shield, pretty great firepower as well, and it's also, of course, again, another support robot. Very capable when it comes to healing, supporting teammates, and it's actually quite fast when you go into its dash mode. Bulwark, the only robot with a, I think, not an ant style, I would just say yellow shield. Pretty OP back in the day. Honestly, still kind of is if you know how to play it right and just have everything correctly equipped. Great firepower, great defense, great durability, has a built-in shield. Actually has 2 built-in shields, a physical and an energy shield, as well as its speed is pretty decent. As you can say, it's pretty much the upgraded version of the Carnage, just missing that extra speed. But honestly, pretty OP for tier 3. And I think that will be it for now. As you can see, there's no more purple tier here. So honestly, nothing really harmless, because honestly, if we're being honest, most of the robots here can actually do quite a punch. It's just that some may be more fragile or slower than others, or just maybe lacking in abilities. So overall, this is how my tier 3 stacks up. If you guys have any different opinions, you're free to put that in the comments below. Of course, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you would like to see more things like this, or if you need help with any other type of videos or things going on within the War Robots community. And hopefully soon I will be doing a tier 4 ranking for all of these robots, not including, or honestly just excluding the ultimate, because of course the ultimates need to be in their own category. I actually have heard something recently about a tier 5. Hopefully all the ultimates are included into there. And yeah, that will do it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully some of you guys find this useful. And that will be all for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.